thank you, gentlemen. Well, thank you very, very much.
Intel says last of the moles have gone to ground. Digging them out won't be easy.
Then you'll be happy to hear the full might of the U.S. military is at your disposal.
Sims.
Words.
Holy shit. They're giving us the keys to the toy box?
Think of it as a welcome home present. So, where do we start?
Payback's a bitch.
Phone USB. Make check 1 2 1 2. USB. Make check 1 2 1 2. Look at all access cooking now. Access cooking now. Very sensitive. Need to fix my stream thing. Well. Oh, I built different kit. Put you in there just. Nice. Wow. No chance.
What? What?
Ants being potent and going outside. It's good with cats and dogs.
Oh, you Fred.
Yes, come bring
No.
it.
Stop doing my head in here. I'm not gonna chill for a bit here. So stop. No, move. I know that is okay, huh? This thing in the eyes is reclining off me here.
Closest time to the target range.
Let's go baby.
يا عيال يلا جيم تكون زي الناس.
يلا. ايش كاتب هذا؟ فري اسرائيل كل.
وين؟
بارك.
برج.
برج.
البرج هو ذا الكبير الاسود صح؟ طب كويس ما فنقنا له ولا شيء ما قلت له.
يلا. هو اخوينا حمار. جوجو. جوجو حمار جوجو حمار. نوب بس هنا يعني ما أعرف.
Hi bro, I'm just back.
Hello man. You're high or
Hello
what?
boys, yes I'm high. Always, every day bro. I mean, is anybody not high playing this game?
يبي
ولا سلاح ولا خرا. راح انزل تحت الدور الثاني.
تقري فيه.
طق ابوه. ايش هذا؟ غريبة.
اصبر 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 اصبر.
اصبر اصبر يا اخي اصبر اصبر. قام عبد الله يا اخي لا تمنيك.
لا خلينا نلوث للناس ما لوث.
نقدر نجيب لودات ساعة بالساعة.
يا عيال جبت كير باكج وش ذا؟
ايوه تسمع كلام عمك الامير ها؟ انا؟ ما تسمع كلامي يا اخي خرا.
يلا 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 مشينا مشينا.
هوب 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 هوب.
في ناس هنا؟
ها نط نط نط. شوفوا شوفوا هنا هنا يلعن ام الغبار. ايش وراه ايش تسوي يا اخي؟ بس ام الخرا. نلعب ريسيرج يا اخي. مرة الايم خرا وما نقعد ما. يا الله انا والله ما.
ايوه في احد جوا في احد جوا ابو حقب. وراي وراي وراي.
قر قر قر. هذه رجعت. I'm back شباب I'm back.
Yo, he's landing on us, he's on buy station maybe, buy station.
لا لا. انتوا تحت ولا فوق؟ ايوه.
فوق فوق فوق. جابوني ايه من فوق.
بيصحيك.
Mates in the gulag. They'll fight for a
صح
chance
صح.
to redeploy.
هذول فوقنا في السراميط.
انا اقول يا عيال اطلع.
نزل علينا حقوق.
جولة خسرانة.
طيب انت اللي لا ما تسحب علينا زي كذا الا نطيزك. الله يقرفك يا ابو حجر. كيف نجيك يعني كيف؟ نفسي انت.
يا عيال واحد قتلني بحجر، واحد قتلني بالحجر. والله.
Your squad mate
كيف
failed
كذا؟
their mission. They're headed back to base.
Operator establishing score 3.
هاجم عليهم والله وقت صراحة. والله كان بقى وان شوت والله. هنا وراك بيجي خوينا بيجي وراك. تعال فوق.
Success means redeployment. Failure means elimination.
ما عليك تحطم.
Tossing grenade.
زي كل مكان اتلسع. حتى انا طيب كيف نمشي كيف؟ عزقين. كيف اللي بمشي ماني قادر.
Moving here.
Time's up. Contract aborted. That to it next time.
Recon contract here. Buy station marked.
وش في الناس معلقة؟
Recon contract here.
يا عبد الله.
Loadout drop headed
Recon
your way.
contract here.
يب.
I've marked a point on your map.
So secure.
Enemy is capture and get ahead.
انا رحت له.
Hostile UAV in the area.
Care package available for delivery.
طيب. بانا يبيه حقه.
اوه حكم.
امس كويس.
اسمع ناس هنا، اسمع ناس.
عند الشب بيقول له باي باك. الفون طلب. هو هنا عندي في البيت في المبنى.
انا طالع فوق اصبر.
خذ هدية.
Enemy UAV is online.
لا 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 لا، وان شوت وان شوت وان شوت. يمين بالله اني حمار، حمار انا مقيوك هناك. اشتريني ضعيف والله، كان هذول مساكين.
ما اقدر
سموكة، ما عليك.
انا لازم انزل من فوق السطح. فيه احد السطح فيه واحد.
نوب ترى.
Squad's in the safe zone. Gas is inbound.
سموك يا عيني يا ابو حقب. نوب بنتل.
ما سويت ولا شيء ترى، انت عارف.
اي فنطل هذا مرة.
تبي ظهر تستند عليه. قول لي ليش لا.
كبرياء.
Found some armor here.
لا
الامس كويس يا حقوب ولا ضعفه؟ امس ولا كريك ولا قرار؟ قرار.
There's activity in this area. Disregard that.
كم الساعة يا شباب؟ معليش بس السؤال. نو اوكي. يلا انا طيازك يلا. ضربني هيك بليز. اوه سناب. هذا اخوينا مو انا.
هناك نفس المكان اللي بنك كنت فيه.
انا قدامي. اشتغلت الماوس. واحد داون. واحد ثاني داون. اثنين ديد.
وين باقيين؟
اصحابهم قريب.
هناك
Changing mags.
على طول تتضارب معي ها؟ خوينا مو انا. كيف السيارة مالك ابو حقب؟ كويس؟ حجربه. خلاص. في سنايبر قاعد يطلق. ايش هذا الكونتراكت الجديد؟ لا هذا الكونتراكت اللي قدامي هذا. وين؟ جاي. كويس.
والله ما لك قرنيت. طلقنا وش نسوي؟
ايوه بعد اعطيه. ايوه عبد الله. اوه هناك.
طلقنا. طيب جاك هو
هناك عبد الله.
اوه يلعن ابليسه، يلعن الايه.
وين قاعد ينشحن؟
انا سيف، انا اموري
جاي.
سيف.
On your feet, soldier.
الله سافر حقب. شلت خلنا نطلع النيكو. لا تقعد تبكبك علي.
طب شوب نشتري ابو حقل. تعال شوب هنا.
جاي لسه قولك
حيموت
هذا موت القتل.
Squad mates are in the safe zone. Gas is moving. Squad mates been cleared for redeployment.
كذا ها خوينا درعا. هلا
قلت اللي جوا هنا ترى.
في واحد هنا. شوف الماب باين. خوينا سحب علينا الخوي فوق دي ها عبد الله.
Time's up. Satellites out of range of our fire.
Disregard that.
احنا عندنا عبد الله لا تطلع انتبه.
Disregard that. Loading.
اوه فك عبد الله I'm fucked man.
اي قاعد ماني شايفه، ما عندي سايت عليه. قاعد جبته.
Cancel my last.
حلو يا كوبا اسطوره. في واحد هنا فوق دي حيوان.
نو ارمر ها.
لا يعني قاعد يطلع هو هنا هرب الخوف. نايس بيهرب.
Moving here.
كفو الفزع
Moving.
هاي motherfucker bitch. bitch motherfucker.
If you reach it in time,
انتبهوا اللي فوق انتبهوا اللي فوق المبنى ها. انتبهوا اللي فوق المبنى.
Disregard that.
اثنين مو واحد ها، مو بواحد.
ايزي
Movement here. Visual on an
gas
X-ray.
inbound.
Seeing
Safe zone
movement here.
relocated.
Enemy vehicle here.
He's going to the buy station.
باي ستيشن. ها نشيلهم. نو ارمر. اثنين. اي انا وانت تارجت. انا ضربت هذاك الكرتون.
There's activity in this area.
بروكن.
هناك ورا ذيك.
انتبه ورا القطار.
Precision airstrike standing by.
في واحد هناك ترى. شيل داون.
طيب.
Like an effective fire.
في اثنين عندك.
انا احس نفسي مره.
Sniper on that ping. Sniper boy.
اوكي نروح من اليمين ما
سموك هذا مين؟ هذا
ابو حجر تقول انا ما في احد. في واحد هرب من السموك.
خلي السيارة بيت يا عيال. سيارة بيت. طلع لنا الثانيين.
انا سيف. ابو حجر ايش تسوي لك سنايبر؟ انتبه سنايبر ها. تعال من ورا ذا.
Cooper, be careful, they res on the buy station.
ايه
Being
حارب
tracked by an
كلب.
enemy squad.
آه
Evade and
شباب انا
survive.
احتاج فلوس عشان اجيب خوينا.
ما ادري والله انت مشيتوا. ما اعرف وينه ذا.
جوة البلاي ستيشن.
اوه بوليس في اثنين جوا. معك انا وراك
اثنين هم.
اعطيته شيل داون. اوه شيت.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone. Solid work evading the enemy. You're clear for now.
يلا ماني قاعد. يلا انا بليس.
اثنين عند الشرطة.
جي جي
كارات.
Front one's really nice because you definitely feel like you're in a block of flats, whereas this just feels like you've got like this really nice house and then
We're headed to the war zone. Geared up. Stand by. Enemy soldier incoming. All stations, we are green to go. Stand by for deployment.
I've just asked ChatGPT, he's given some good advice. I'm going to copy it.
Keep clear of the gas.
Do it
Get to
on the
the safe
temporary
zone.
chats. Where are we landing?
Spearhead drops the priority mission. Details are need to know. Find a crate marked on your map.
Oh, you killed someone there. Well done.
Intel
Put
point
him with you.
activated. Now ensure the point is secure.
Where are you, Jeff? Oh crap! I thought Jake was in the sky. I'm coming over. I'm coming over the back of the beef. Oh crap! It.
Gulag is your last chance. Fight to earn redeployment.
There's two teams. They're shooting each other. Two teams here. It's two teams.
It's fight time.
Oh, it's two teams, man.
Stand by.
Two teams. Like... Two teams.
Earn redeployment or die trying.
No, I thermited him. I'm literally getting him dying, coming up. So he's like one shot. I go to go kill him, and he somehow does me. It is so crap. I've got to kill that.
Fuck off.
That's just a crap thing that's happened to me. Oh, now my controller's not working great.
Is all good?
Yeah, me and Art was watching the Purge.
Oh. Come around just for you, Tom. Did you download the GTA? What are we gonna make? If you want, it's up to you, like. Well, not really, like.
No,
Don't need them. Oh, God. You got a wee packet of Chris Harlow or a wee chocolate, a wee Kinder. Huh? I have earphones on, so I thought you were talking to me. Oh, it is.
Enemies are dropping into the area.
What? Move!
Battle Royale. Affirmative. Be advised, gas is closing in. Reach the safe zone. Spearhead drops a priority mission. Details I need to know. Find a crate marked on the map. Supply box is located.
Walk the loot cache.
You're clear to engage all hostiles. One supply box down. 2 remain.
SMG marked. There's activity in this area.
One supply box remaining. Move to secure.
Moving here. Buy station marked.
All supply boxes secure. Contract complete.
Yo, guys, come to me. Buy Lodi. I have money.
You've got a loadout drop.
Push the recon flyover!
Squad mate has entered the gulag. They'll need to survive to redeploy.
SMG marked. Disregard that. Loading! We've got movement in this area. Lost mag!
Your squad mates failed their mission. They're headed back to base. Your squad mates in the gulag. If they survive, they redeploy. Your squad mates in the gulag. They'll fight for a chance to redeploy. Squad mate won the fight.
Need some
Redeploy
cash.
now.
Got some cash here.
Squad mate has been cleared for redeployment.
Bounty contract marked.
Enemy center marked.
Found some armor here.
Moving to my mark.
Taking fire!
Enemy deployed an advanced UAV.
Tossing smoke away. You're a hard bastard, you'll make it.
I'm gonna leave this area and go more middle.
Moving here.
Friendly loadout drops on the way. Gas is closing in. Relocating safe zone.
mags.
Heads up. An enemy squad marks you as a bounty target.
Enemy active. Moving. X-ray marked. Disregard that. Movement here. Reloading. Moving here. Moving. Seeing movement here. Got an X-ray here. Cancel my last. I'm taking fire! Changing mag!
The enemy is no longer tracking you. You lost them. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located. Capture the enemy intel on your train, and you'll get a look at the site of the next gas spread.
Copy. Disregard that. Changing mag! Requesting buyback, ready to redeploy.
You're losing ground. Moving.
Loading!
Incoming LDBR.
Requesting recon flyover. Moving here.
Be advised, the LSAT moved out of orbit. We lost our chance to fire.
Reloading.
Thanks for the work. UAV overflight terminated.
Taking effective fire.
Sniper on the roof.
We've lost eyes on the objective. Contract failed.
Taking effective fire. Moving.
He's fucking hacking or something, that dude.
Assault rifle marked.
He's hacking comp. There's the hacking.
The Gulag is your last chance. Fight to earn redeployment. Let's have ourselves a fight. Almost your turn, soldier. Stand by. Success means redeployment. Failure means elimination.
Throwing smoke.
Target down. Redeployment. You earned it.
Supplies are back online.
loadout drop inbound. You've got gas moving in.
Another blatant Mike Myers hacker down below. Level 55 ran straight at me. Ah.
Your squad is getting you out of here. Stand by.
This is Bravo 6. I'm back online.
Thank you so much, bro.
You've made it to the top 10. Gas is closing in. Relocating safe zone.
Sniper marked. X-ray marked. There's activity in this area. Enemy activity here.
Squad's in the safe zone. Gas is inbound.
Movement here. Stim here. Cancel my last. Snipe moving.
Got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Activity in this area.
Ah. Right.
Hostile airstrike inbound.
Disregard that.
Yo, bro, I'm safe, so I am. You could actually drop down and get me. I'm so safe. Trust me. I'm just below you on the next level. I'm so safe, bro. Trust me. If you drop down, just drop down a floor, bro. I'm on the upper roof. If you look down at me, please. Look down, bro. Look down and lie down. Thank you. He's just below us and they're on the buy station also.
Enemy
Thank you.
UAV overhead.
What's wrong?
Precision airstrike. Find cover.
A PlayStation Cat? GTA 5 operator? Listen, no.
Enemy activity here.
Safe zone. Gas is moving.
What's wrong? Where's Mummy away now? Right, what was he asking me here?
Grammarly now uses AI to help you write, not just revise. Type a prompt and generate a persuasive.
In this video, I'm going to be helping you guys to get more FPS, have better visual quality so that you can see enemies better, and just make your game look more aesthetically pleasing. Now, you could suffer some increased latency and delay possibly, so exclusive is going to be best. Monitor is just going to be whatever your gaming monitor is, and the display adapter is whatever your GPU is. For the screen refresh rate, this should auto select to your highest refresh rate. I'm on a 240 hertz, so the highest one available is what we are going to go with. As far as display resolution, I am on a 2K monitor, and so this is going to be different depending on what type of monitor. So for a lot of you guys, you might be just like 1920 by 1080, or you might be on a unique wide size monitor, which has a unique ratio. Now, if you have a 2K or 4K monitor, it might make sense for you, depending on your specs, to come down on the resolution. And so you could do that here, or we also can do that in another area, which I think is actually the better way to do it. So generally for display resolution, just leave this on whatever your monitor's resolution is. For aspect ratio, automatic is going to be just fine. Most of you guys are probably going to be 16 by 9 unless you are on a unique ultra wide sized monitor. And if so, just look up where your monitor is. But automatic should automatically set it for you. Now, restart shaders preloading. When we are all done with this, it's important that we're going to start this, and then we are going to exit the game and boot back up and allow those shaders to restart so they can take any changes into account that we made. For the display gamma, most of you guys are going to be on 2.2, assuming you are using a monitor. But if for some reason you're using a TV display, then you would be using a 2.4. For gamma and brightness, 50 is the default and is fine, but I generally like to turn this up just a little bit to about 55, but you don't want to crank this up because then things are going to get really just washed out. Higher brightness is not always better. NVIDIA Reflex low latency. So this will of course only be if you are using a NVIDIA system. AMD has something a little bit different to this, but this is going to depend. For most of you guys, you're probably going to be set to on. And so this is if you are GPU bound. However, if you are CPU bound, you're going to be set to on plus boost. In order to determine if you are GPU versus CPU bound, we're going to go to our interface settings under the global tab, go to telemetry and hit show more. We need to make sure that we have our CPU time turned on and our GPU time turned on. And that's going to show this up in the top left corner up here. From there, go into and queue into a game of Warzone. Doesn't really matter what mode you do, but you do need to go into a mode and not just in the menu. All right, so once you're in a game, look at the top left here, and whichever number is higher is going to be the one that you are bound to. So in my case, the GPU time tends to consistently be higher. Every once in a while, the CPU time will come up to 4, but on average, the GPU time is consistently higher, meaning I'm GPU bound. If your CPU time was consistently higher, that would mean you are CPU bound. And if you're kind of tied, if it's pretty neck and neck, you are almost certainly going to lean towards being GPU bound. So again, GPU bound, GPU higher number on, CPU bound, CPU time higher number on plus boost. If you are experiencing lots of dev errors, one thing you can try to do is turn this off. But personally, I thought this was making a difference for me a while back when I was having a lot of dev errors, but after making some tweaks, this was not the cause. In sustainability, for the eco mode preset, I like to go ahead and set this to custom. For our VSync gameplay and menus, we're going to leave these two off unless you are experiencing screen tearing. So screen tearing is where the monitor, literally things don't line up. And so if you are experiencing this, you can turn this on, and you want to start with the lowest number and work up until that tearing completely goes away. You generally do not want to use VSync because it can cause an input delay or essentially a lag. So having this off is generally what you always want to be able to do. Custom frame rate limit, I normally just leave this to unlimited, let it go as much as you want. But if you want to, maybe you're having temp issues, you want to make sure your PC is not overworking, you can set this to custom and apply some limits to those. Reduce menu render resolution, you can leave this one to optimal. This is just going to automatically lower the quality of when you're in the menu versus in the game to kind of take some load off of your PC. And then these ones, pause game rendering, you can leave off. Reduce quality when active, you can set to 10 minutes if you'd like. Focus mode, make sure this one is off as well. HDR, just leave this to automatic, and you can calibrate if you want it, but it's really not that important. Okay, moving over to the quality tab here, and this is the part where it's really going to depend a lot system per system. So like I said, I think it's best to just set your render resolution in the display tab as whatever your monitor is. But if you want to turn it down from here, because you don't have to make huge jumps. You can just go small percentage jumps. So, let's say you were on a 2K monitor, but you're struggling to get 100 FPS. Well, maybe you come down to maybe like, 80%. It's still going to be higher quality than a standard, 1080, but maybe that's kind of the threshold where you start to get a consistent 100 FPS. In my opinion, I think you should set this as low as you can go until you're getting a consistent about 100 FPS. There's not really any point in going beyond here, especially if your monitor can't handle this. I have heard some people say, if you're CPU bound, you can get a little bit out of this, but in most cases, leaving this to 100 is what we're going to do. Dynamic resolution, you're going to leave this off unless you are on a very low end PC. If you're on a very low end PC, you can turn this on and you can set a frame rate target. So like 100, for example, and this is going to dynamically change your resolution so that it hits that target. But again, I would only do this if you're on a really low end PC. Upscaling and sharpening. Fidelity FX Cast is a great way of making our game look a lot sharper and crisper with minimal to no performance hits. For absolute pure performance, just leaving this off is what you're going to want, but Fidelity FX Cast makes the game look a lot sharper and crisper. As far as the strength goes, I kind of settle around the 70 number. This is completely personal preference. Cranking this up isn't going to make your performance worse. It just makes things look extra sharp, but I think you get to a certain point and it looks a little bit like grainy and weird. So I kind of like about the 70 number for myself. There are a lot of different settings in here, and some PCs might do better on different ones, but the general safe one is Fidelity FX Cast. These next two, frame generations one, you're going to want to leave these off. Now, this is a little bit of a hot topic here. If you don't care as much about input and response time, but you do want your game to look smoother and have more frames, you could try turning these on. If you have the right GPU that supports this, you will get a lot more FPS, but this frame generation creates an input delay because it's essentially AI generated frames is essentially, it's in a very simple way of explaining it. So for performance, you do not want this if you are in playing a competitive FPS game like Warzone where milliseconds matter. VRAM target scale. This one, you do need to be looking at your VRAM usage down at the bottom. Because I have a 4090, I have plenty and I don't need to really worry about this too much. If you are experiencing a lot of hitches or stuttering, turning this down some is a good idea. I personally, even if I crank this up to 90, I don't notice a difference. If I come down to 50, I don't notice much of a difference. So me personally, I'm leaving this on 70. But again, if you are limited on your VRAM usage, it might make sense to turn this down some or keep turning it down until you do not experience stutters and hitching. Variable ray shading. This is a setting I would highly recommend you turn on. What this does is it takes the edges of your screens and it slightly reduces the quality on the very edges. You really don't even notice this at all, but it actually gives you a very large performance boost in terms of your FPS. Now, moving on to details and textures. This is another area where, again, this depends a lot on your performance. It does not take a rocket scientist to know that if you just turn every single one of these settings to the lowest or off, you are generally going to get the most of FPS. However, some of these settings make the game look like crap when you do so. So texture resolution is one. Yes, very low will get you the absolute best performance. And if you're on a low end PC, this is what I recommend, but low looks way better. It doesn't make the game look super Play-Doh-y and nasty. And normal looks a lot better too. I normally can get away with normal and be fine, but lately I'm just like, you know what, I was having some dev errors. And so I'm like, let's just have the most smooth game possible. And so low looks decent and you get great performance. Texture filter anisotropic, that is another one where low is best performance wise, but I do like to run this one on normal or even high because it does make the game look a lot better up close if you care about that. Depth of field, make sure this is off. It's cool for cinematics. It is not good for seeing enemies. Detail quality. This is another one where, again, low is going to be best FPS wise, but normal makes things look a lot better. Things like when you're looking at like bricks and the sides of buildings and grass, detail quality makes the game just look much more aesthetically pleasing with a very minimal effect on FPS. Particle resolution, I would recommend keeping to very low because you actually can see through explosions and stuff like that a little bit better, and it will help our FPS as well. Now, bullet impacts and persistent effects. Bullet impacts, it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to really affect FPS much. If you like to see, your recoil plots, I would leave that on. Persistent effects, though, I would leave off. This is again related to explosions, kind of similar to particle resolution. Shader quality is a very important one here. So if you put shader quality, I don't know why it's not letting me open this up for some reason. If you put shader quality on the lowest one, looking at the game in like mud, grass, it looks horrible. It looks like Play-Doh. If you turn this up to medium, the game looks 10 times better. And so again, this is not going to really help as far as seeing enemies, but if you want your game to get a lot more aesthetically pleasing, if you have a decent PC and you're okay sacrificing maybe 5 to 10 FPS at the absolute most, going up to medium is something I would recommend doing. Now, this is the big setting that I've changed, and this has helped a lot. So on-demand texture streaming. When BO6 dropped early, having this to minimal and turning this all the way down would help a lot, especially with things like packet loss. However, that would make the game look horrible at a distance, like when you're floating in, parachuting in, things like that. So if you turn this to optimized, and then we go down to the allocated texture cast size, and turning this up can make the game look way better at a distance. However, if you have bad internet, you do not want to do this. If you have bad internet and you struggle to get, decent latency, consistent connection, leave this to minimal and leave everything to as low as it goes. But if you have decent internet, you have a wired connection, turning this up, and I probably, because I have fiber, I would be probably perfectly fine to get away with 64. I don't notice a massive difference from 64 to 32. And so I'm going with 32 because it's kind of a combination between making the game look good, but also not overwhelming my internet. And then if you are limited on download space on your PC, you do need to have probably at least like maybe 30 to 40 gigs free space on your PC. You might want to consider turning your download limits on, and you can limit how much it's going to download per day. Now, this isn't going to keep downloading 10 gigs every single day. It will, replace that cache. But because I have plenty of space on mine, I don't worry about that personally. And then local texture, streaming quality. Again, this is another one I'd probably say sticking to low is going to be better. I don't notice a huge difference here personally. Shadow and lighting. So if you turn, the shadow quality is very big for FPS. However, when you put it to very low, the shadows look so blocky and just ugly and horrible. And so I normally go up to low. It's a small sacrifice of FPS, but it does make the game look significantly better. After that though, all of these other ones we're going to keep to off and low, because generally these are all settings that they don't really help much with player visibility, but they do help a lot in terms of performance. And then lastly, in the environment tab is we are going to keep all of these ones off or low. Again, this is, some subtle stuff that can make the game a little bit cooler, but I don't notice a huge difference here, but performance wise, you definitely will notice a difference. Now going over to the view tab, and this is where field of view comes in. Very, very important setting. Now, as far as it comes to performance, actually the lower your FOV is, the better performance you will get, but you definitely do not want to sacrifice playing on 60 FOV. So if you are really struggling from a performance standpoint, coming down to maybe, between 100 and 110 might help a little bit. However, most of the time I am going to recommend playing on the max 120 field of view. And the difference here is that you're going to have a much more wider field of view, and you can see more of your periphery. However, enemies do appear smaller compared, if we were to turn this down, and just for example, I'll go all the way to 60, you're going to see enemies now, they look much closer. The downside to this though is that it feels like I have way more recoil as well because I am closer to my screen. But when I'm back at 120, my recoil seems like it is a lot less. And again, that's because we are farther back from that gun. It's like using a high zoom optic versus a low zoom optic. You will also feel like you move around much faster the higher your field of view is. And so generally, as far as this goes, I think between 110 and 120 is ideal for most players. But if you struggle to see people at a distance, coming down to maybe 100 or so is perfectly fine as well. And if you want a kind of a little bit of an in-between, you can do independent. What this does is your wide field of view, whatever you have it set to, but when you aim, you zoom in a lot more. So some people do like that. I'm not a big fan of it personally, but that is an option to do. After that, weapon field of view, we're going to set that to wide. Third person, not that we do this much, but you can put this to 90. Vehicle as well, wide again, just lets you see a little bit more around your periphery. And then for your camera settings here, make sure both of our motion blurs are set to off. The camera movements are set to least. And then the only other thing that kind of matters here is if you want, you can do the inverted flash. Just a really quickly go with my audio settings. I do use Audio Wars custom EQ, so if you're interested in that, it is a custom EQ set up for PC only. With that, I play with headphone bass cut, but I wouldn't do this if you are playing with a normal EQ system. If you are interested in this, look up Art is War on YouTube. All right, now into the interface settings here. We already covered some of this in the telemetry. This is all personal preference, but I do like to have things like my FPS latency, packet loss, and my GPU temp on. Otherwise, it's just totally personal preference if you want some of those other things on. In readability here, you can put subtitles on or off, totally personal preference, but I would recommend going down to color customization, and I use a custom color palette. I actually have my enemies changed to like a pinkish purplish over here. I just think it's a little bit more easier to see. It stands out a little bit better for me compared to the red. You also can go in here, you can change squad members, you can do lots of different things here, but under the color filter settings, I would recommend going to filter 2 and then